If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. I've never run a business without a plan, and I am shocked at how many painting companies operate without one, or build a plan and then they never track any of the results. So none of that works. This video is about reporting and tracking for predictable sales growth. To grow and stay profitable, you really need to have a simple planning and tracking system. You need to know your numbers, and not just at the end of the year, but week by week. That's what you need for coaching purposes as well. That's how you stay in control, diagnose issues early, and make smart adjustments. So we start with a revenue map. You can download your own copy of this Excel template for this tracking purpose below. This is where we break our annual goals into monthly targets. So let's have a look. So if you jump in here, it all starts with inputting these yellow tabs. You can input your total goal for the year. Let's say it's $1 million. And that is going to inform the rest of this tracking system. The revenue map here, that's what this tab is. This breaks up the entire year into months. And then we're going to have our sales plan, which is a weekly document, and it breaks up this whole revenue map into weeks, right? Our week to week performance. So you can see here, I'm going to get these numbers. So for us, our average job size in the residential sector is 6,400. And I'm taking that data directly from last year's tracking template. So I'm not guessing. Every year, you're going to get more and more educated on your own business and what to expect. So if you're not at 50% sales ratio, you shouldn't start there. You want to be more conservative, but you definitely want to work your way up. For us, we sell a little bit lower in January, February, and when we gradually get our margin up to 55% for our sales ratio up in June. And these numbers are now going to inform the actual sales tracking map. So these percents here, 4, 8, 13, is pulling this information from our sales tracker, which I'm going to go to after this tab. And it's saying that 4% of our total bookings or revenue is going to be booked. So 4% of $1 million in January is going to be booked. So that's 40,000. Then the 40,000 is going to divide out by the average job size that we have historically. So I'm going to use those historical numbers as much as I can. And that's going to give me that I need to book 6 jobs on average to achieve that 40,000. And if my sales ratio is at 40%, it's going to divide 6 divided by 40%. And that's going to give me my estimates goal for the month. So about 4 estimates a week is what we're looking at. Then you see how it does the same thing each week. And it adds up my bookings. So booking goal for January is 40, then 80, then 135, then 120, 30, then 120, and so on and so forth. And then the cumulative keeps adding up. So I know that if I stay on my track here and I track everything and I stay committed, I'm going to be at about 650,000 booked by June, right? By the end of the year, I'll have a little bit higher. I like to be a conservative on my sales plan. Same goes for production, exact same formula. Obviously, production's a little slower January, February, and then it starts picking up. Highest month being 18%, which is 175,000 if you take that multiplied by our total goal. So that brings us to our sales plan, which is the weekly tracking of this whole thing. So if you go in here and you look at it, this yellow tab is where we put in, again, as much as possible from historics from our CRM or from our old Excel tracker from last year, we're going to put in what percent we expect to book each month or each week. So 1%, and it starts to climb, hitting a high of about 3.5% of total revenue getting booked on April 20th, which would be $35,000. So this number here is it's multiplying this percent times the total revenue, which gives us 10 grand needs to be booked on January 12th and 19th. So if it's the start of the year, that means if I need 10K, it's dividing this amount by my average job size, meaning I need to book 2 jobs. And then it's automatically taking the 2 jobs divided by our sales ratio, which is meaning I have to do 4 estimates. And to get 4 estimates, I need to have 5 leads, assuming a 15% slippage. Slippage being something, meaning basically a dead lead, a lead that didn't qualify or didn't become an estimate for any reason, or you didn't follow up fast enough. There's a whole variety, but we always want to inquire too, what causes slippage. So at the end of the week, I can update. Let's say I beat my goal. I got 6 leads here, and then I did 5 estimates. I booked 2 jobs, and my total bookings for the week was 11,500, let's say. So now my whole thing automatically updates. So you can see it updated here. And now I know my current sales. I know my current average job size for the year, my current sales ratio for the year. And it also gives me all this data. So I booked 1.2% of my total weekly revenue. Cumulatively, I'm at 1.2%, right? Sales ratio for the week is 40%. I get a total cumulative sales ratio, so it'll update from based on all the weeks so far. And then I get my average job size so far as well. And the average job size will continue updating every time I fill out a week. So this is our sales map. We've got one for production. We've got a recruitment planning one, so when you're generating applicants. And our master business plan has everything we need to run the company and track everything. Cash flow plan, where we track our monthly accounting from QuickBooks, job cost cards, so on and so forth, right? So we're not going to get into all that with this video, but it's just kind of these are kind of the stuff that you get in the full program. For now, we're just focusing on the sales tracking. So like I said, if you decide to join our ongoing coaching program and mentorship program, one of the first things that we do is help you to integrate this entire system into your business. For this training, we're just kind of focusing on that sales part. Tracking your numbers each week, though, lets you quickly identify what's holding you back. And there are 4 main problems you might find with the sales side. Lead flow problems, you're just not getting enough leads to hit your estimate goal. And you'll see that on your sales plan, right? We just don't have enough leads coming in. We can have a lead slippage problem. So maybe we are getting enough leads, but not enough of them are translating into proper estimates. There's too many, and that could be a variety of reasons. Maybe just poor quality leads, or they're getting disqualified in the setup call part of the sales process. Now we can diagnose and figure that out. Close rate problems. So you're running enough estimates perhaps, but you're not booking enough jobs. That could be a problem. You'll find that out. Average job size problems. You're booking enough jobs, but your revenue is too low because your sizes of your jobs are too small. So maybe we're not upselling properly, or we're taking too many decks or something like that. Once we know where the bottleneck is though, then we know where to focus the energy to fix it. So for example, if it's a close rate problem, that's when we dig deeper into the sales performance. If your close rate's below 50%, it's maybe time to ask the 4 key questions that we talked about before, which is, are you doing estimates for people who are actually painting this year? This is my number one go-to question. I ask people, are you for sure painting this year? So I'm not wasting my time doing estimates for people that are just looking. Does this estimate capture everything that you actually need and want? That's a question I ask to diagnose. Do they like and trust you? If I'm not booking enough, right? Have I built enough rapport? Have I shown my competence that I'm an expert in the field? Do they think this price is fair? For the value being offered, right? Maybe it's a value problem. These questions pinpoint the root cause of low close rates, right? And if you can answer yes to all 4, you should be closing at 50% more on your qualified leads. So with our CRM Drip Jobs, which I'll show you here, we get all of that. We recommend them quite highly, right? None of this works if you're not organized. So you must know where every lead comes from, every estimate, and booked, where every booking has come from, right? We want to know that information so we know what marketing's working. That's where a CRM, a customer relationship management system, comes in. We personally use and recommend Drip Jobs, but there's several options out there to meet your needs. Every client's details and quotes details shows up in there. Quote notes, follow-up schedules should live in your CRM. That way you or any team member can see exactly what's being discussed, what's important to customers, when the next call is due. After every estimate, you can record client needs and key details, follow-up times. I also like to use Google Calendar for my follow-up times, photos of projects, before shots, prep shots, etc. All final pricing and proposal details, this all gets stored there. For booked jobs, you can record deposits, hours, materials. You can move the project into the production schedule from here. And this avoids confusion and ensures smooth handoffs to your crews or to your production manager. When you stay organized like this, all of your planning and tracking efforts, from the revenue map to the weekly goals, becomes far more effective. It's what allows you to clearly see where you stand and stay on track towards your annual sales targets. At the end of the day, though, your business can be reverse engineered from one number and the number of estimates you complete. When you know your close rate and your average job size, you can calculate exactly how many estimates you need to hit your annual sales goal. If you consistently hit the targets each week and you keep your close rate and job size in check, you're going to stay on track with predictable results. This video is an overview of how we plan, track, and diagnose these sales problems. One of the first things we'll do in our ongoing coaching program is to help you build a fully customized plan for your business. Then we guide you on tracking, diagnosing, and improving your sales and production results over time. In the final video, we'll step back and look at the big picture, how this estimating and sales systems fit into the larger framework of building a scalable, profitable 7-figure painting business. And we'll show you how to put all these pieces together, right? So that it's not overwhelming. That's it for this video, and we'll see you in the next one.